Folks, it's widely known that Otocinclus catfish are great algae eaters, but I wanted to see just how good are they. A little experiment from the den featuring the Otocinclus, your algae bloodhound, coming up. Folks, what is this experiment? What's it all about? Let me give you a little bit of a background. The other night I was doing a water change on my 2.6 gallon Fluval Spec tank, and I'm thrilled with the plant growth I've gotten over the last 6 months that this has been set up, but you can see the problem. Way too much algae in this tank, and that's my fault, and the reason why this tank introduces itself as I'm a Fluval Spec and I have an algae problem. You can see the reflection in the aquarium glass. There is a window right in front of the tank. This is in my studio, so it gets full daylight. Not only that, I was running my aquarium light for 8 hours in the evening. Way too much light, way too much algae growth. So I thought, let me try a little experiment. I do have a mobile plant here, and that's a piece of Anubias nana tied to some lava rock with some Java moss. And you can see the algae buildup on the leaves of this Anubias nana. But what if I took this plant, put it into a tank where I had some Otocinclus ready, willing, and hungry for algae? How quickly would they clean the leaves? Prior to moving it, I wanted to clean up some of the Java moss that got really stringy. Now, if your Java moss gets stringy, keep trimming it back. Eventually you get nice, bushy Java moss. So a little barbershop cut was in order. Once that was done, the piece looked much, much better, but you can still see the algae buildup on the leaves. Now, it's not all that uncommon for Anubias nana to have algae buildup. It is a slow-growing plant, but not quite to this extent. So I wanted to see how would my Otocinclus take to this new algae. So over to the 20-gallon tank, and I had to do a little bit of interior decorating. Had to find some space for the lava rock and the Anubias nana. Moved some star organic weapons around and moved a piece of driftwood off to the side. Finally found a nice spot for the lava rock and the Anubias nana, which I actually really like and may keep it there. No sooner did I put it in the tank, about 3 minutes into it, I had these little bloodhounds, these algae bloodhounds, these Otocinclus circling the leaves, getting ready to eat. About 5 minutes into it, I had 2 of them already chowing down. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Otocinclus catfish, they're from the South American Andes, North Venezuela, North Argentina. They live in shoals or schools, so you want to keep them in groups, at least a minimum of 4, if you're looking at a shoal. 10 minutes after putting the Anubias nana in, I had 3 out of the 4 Otos in this tank chowing down on the algae. Now, Otocinclus are wild-caught fish, and they are sensitive to water parameters. They're one of my favorite fish, but the best way that I've been able to acclimate them without losses is to drip acclimate them before putting them into my tanks. And I'll leave a card up above on drip acclimation. I have a video on that. But they are sensitive to water parameters, so you want to make sure that you acclimate them correctly. Now, Otocinclus feed on algae and offwalks. For those of you who are not familiar with the term offwalks, if you've ever looked on top of your tank and you see a white biofilm, offwalks is biofilm, essentially. So if you hear the term offwalks grazer, like an Otocinclus, they eat offwalks or biofilm and algae. Now, I did this prior to work, and 8 hours later when I got home, I wanted to see how they did, and this plant is completely clean. So if you want a good algae eater and a good cleaner for your tank, consider the humble Otocinclus. One of my favorite fish. Folks, the den is now on Instagram. Just started posting there at dmichaelsfishden. Please join me if you're so inclined, and as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. For future videos, thanks for watching.